Welcome back to the Light and Life podcast, conversations on faith and life in downtown Colorado's dream. I'm your host, Liza, here with Pastor Tim.
Hey, Liza.
Hey.
Hey.
What's going on?
What's going on? Yeah.
We're living the dream.
Living the dream.
Yeah. Work day today has been nuts.
Yeah, you're getting hammered
Yeah.
with contacts. You've got so many contacts. You're so popular.
Stop. I'm blushing.
Ah.
I see where this is going.
Uh-huh.
All right, say it. Go on. And
You're an influencer. You are an influencer.
Now, I'd like to be clear.
Yeah.
Not in, like, simple modern world what we consider an influencer.
I mean, what is an influencer? Like, is it really? So the episode today is on influencers.
Yeah, surprise.
Surprise. Does that really mean like you've got a special mark on your, like your social media page?
Oh, the verified.
Like verified.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say, we know what the word influence means, but the term influencer is kind of coined towards the paid side of partnerships with brands and, like.
It's when somebody's pretty sure that if you wear those shoes,
people are going to buy them.
10,000 people are going to want to wear those shoes. Which,
so brands will partner with, Hailey Bieber or someone
is that
to wear their product. Oh my gosh, Justin
Hailey
Bieber's
Bieber?
wife.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She was Hailey Baldwin.
Okay.
I've been a believer since I was little, so get with it.
Well, didn't they have a really sweet
yes.
like Christian marriage?
Yes.
I'm sorry to be like so pastory.
You're like, no, that's sweet.
Yeah, but like he had a turn to faith. And she was a big part of that. And
it's sweet. It's super sweet.
Good. Well, they're influencers.
So now you're a believer.
Now
too.
I'm a believer. Yeah.
But
yep.
Yeah, I think the term influencer is so lightly used right now because they're, okay, from the brand side, sorry, I'm going to take on my
You're
corporate brain.
Go ahead.
For a second. And people are actually straying away from paying, or I would say companies are straying away from paying the big celebrities or the big influencers because everyone knows and starts to recognize this is an ad they're being paid, millions of dollars to say this. Do they actually use this product? So they're switching to what we call micro influencers, which is what you and I are essentially, because our sphere of influence trusts us so much more than they would trust some random celebrity.
Right.
Whereas they were playing on, the celebrity has, I want to be like the celebrity, therefore. Yeah. But now it's turned into a trust thing.
Yes.
Like if you were to tell me about a person, place, or thing, I would hold your opinion and perspective way above some random person's on that person, place, or thing.
And I enjoy people, places, and things.
Me too.
So I just want to know anybody who wants to hire my...
Oh, yeah, you want a partnership? We could use a sponsor.
Micro influence, which is I'm definitely in that lane. Like I'm excited that lane is where we need to be because...
Yeah. I would say we're like maybe E-list celebrities, right? Like how does it go?
It goes deeper than that.
You think?
Yeah.
Q?
No, but Q.
That feels good.
No, but that's well, people want to. It's about trust, and so it's more like if a friend tells you a secret thing, like if you go over here and order this off the menu, you're gonna love it. Mm-hmm. That means so much more than Tom Hanks telling me to wear Nikes.
What secret menu are you thinking of in your mind right now?
Well, I was already headed to In-N-Out Burger.
Okay.
Because none of the stuff that's on the actual menu is any good at all.
Animal style?
Yeah, you've got to know the codes.
Okay.
But you can look them up online now, which is totally a different thing. But
yeah. It used to be so exclusive and fun.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Now it's out for everyone.
I didn't know that when In-N-Out came.
What?
Here. I didn't know there was secret stuff. So we went to In-N-Out Burger. We waited in the line for 40 minutes. And I was like, this has got to be some pretty good stuff, kids. And we ordered like, I'll have the cheeseburger.
No, and you're like, this is just
cheeseburger and fries, please. And it was like,
McDonald's. Yeah, same thing.
This is cafeteria food. And then.
But now you know.
Now I know.
Is your life changed?
My life is just a little bit different.
Oh, wow.
Not a big amount of difference because I don't care to go to In-N-Out Burger all that much. But all right. So anyway, Liza, we are all influencers, and this is actually to pivot to maybe Christianity. We talk about discipleship, and throughout Scripture, we're told to be a healthy influence on others, and the truth is that we all are influencers. So, a quick Google search reveals that the most introverted person still influences, on average, around 10,000 people in their lifetime. Google never lies. Leadership studies say that the average person living to 78 years of age influences more than 80,000 people in their lifetime, or 2.8 people per day. So I think that's interesting.
Wow.
But, the Bible is clear that we have an influence on those around us. Couple of verses. 1 Corinthians 11, 1 and 2. I'm so glad that you always keep me in your thoughts and that you are following the teachings I passed on to you. And you should imitate me just as I imitate Christ. So Paul was not shy about saying, follow my lead just as I'm following Christ, setting up this pattern of discipleship. And Philippians 3, he said it again, 3:17, join together in following my example, brothers and sisters, just as you have us as a model. Keep your eyes on those who live as we do. So sometimes in Christian terms, we want to ask, who are you looking up to? And also, who do you think is looking up to you? Because you're influencing the people behind you as well. But you can also be a bad influence. Mm-hmm. So 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, do not be misled. My finger is in the air.
Pointing at me.
Listeners.
Mm-hmm. It's intense.
Bad company corrupts good character. If there has ever been a good verse for a Presbyterian minister, it's that one. No, seriously, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. And Proverbs 13:20 says, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. So the Bible's really clear. You're going to influence the people around you. You're going to be influenced by the people around you. So what I thought would be fun is for you and I to talk about a few people that we consider influencers in our lives, that have made an influence on the way we're living as Christians, our faith, made a positive influence on us. And so I just thought for this episode it'd be fun to share our influencers.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Do you want to go one, like I
do
one, you do one, or?
Yeah, let's one off.
All right.
Are we doing good and bad?
No.
Just good.
Because this is a public forum.
Got it.
We want to protect people's reputations.
Sure.
We're about building people up, Liza. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so positive influence on me was unequivocally this girl named Katie, who...
What age range are we talking now?
She is...
Like, what age were you when you guys were in...
Oh, I was 19.
Okay.
College. Mm-hmm. And she's probably mid-30s. Young kids at the time. She's early 40s now, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Carry the one, really. Okay. She met me where I was at in a really dark place. And I think I've shared parts of my testimony in this podcast, but she's a big part of it because she was originally my counselor, told me that she couldn't be my counselor, which crushed me, but it was because she wanted a relationship with me that was deeper and where she could go there with me without, codes of ethics getting in the way from her being my counselor. So she invited me into a co-ed Bible study at her house. She would meet me for coffee. She would let me babysit her kids. She just really made me feel wanted for me. And
Nice.
she didn't try to force what she believed on me, because she knew that I was skeptical of not necessarily Christianity. Like, I believed in Jesus. I wanted a relationship with him. I was skeptical of the Christians that were around me, because I loved Jesus, at least really wanted to love him at the time. And I felt safe and comfortable in being able to express that to her. And slowly but surely, the way that she held herself and the way that she responded in certain situations made me want to be like her.
Okay. Yeah.
And also made me crave the relationship with Christ that she had, because she had so much love and compassion and understanding for me, even when I was, very not anti-Christianity, but anti the people, like anti-Christians.
Christians. Not the belief, but the community.
Yes, exactly. Because I felt really judged. I couldn't even get myself to pray out loud because I was scared. I couldn't, say the right words.
So what was that quality that she had that you're like, I want to be? Can you name it? Like,
I really think it's the Holy Spirit living within her.
Okay.
Because I can't give you a specific example of a quality. I think there's just a light about her, a lightness. She's so kind and sweet, and when she looks at you, you know that she's listening.
And there's love coming through her.
Yeah,
like she's a vehicle for the Holy Spirit.
Like, I always wanted to. It didn't matter what I had going on the night of Bible study. If something came up, I would go, and not because I'm like super excited to dive into the Word. It was I was super excited at the time to go and spend time with her and her family, and it made a huge impact, and I think ultimately led me to meeting people that brought me here.
Wow.
To Colorado Springs,
So way to go, Katie.
Go, Katie.
Go,
Love
Katie.
you.
That's my first one that I thought of is along those same lines. Like, I came to Christ through Young Life. People ask, "Oh, who was giving the talk?" I don't know.
Okay.
Like, who was your leader at the time? I don't know. Like, we've got a friend who's, she's a leader in Young Life, and I hope this wouldn't discourage her, at all, because I think people will remember her in her ministry. But I don't remember who was working, like who was on staff. But what I remember is the Bible study home that I came to on Thursday mornings every week at David and Susan Strelow's house, and they're still in the church. They worship here at First Pres, and so I remember coming to their house and having pancakes, and I remember Bible study time, like just this regular, faithful opening the Bible and studying the Bible. So Dave Strelo would lead that time, and he would. This was high school, and you're going to their house at 6:15 in the morning, and the pancakes are ready, and we're gathering on the floor of their living room. Just was an amazing generosity. I look back on that now, and you realize how big of a generosity that was to have your house open every. But the Bible study, he taught me how to draw things out of the Bible. Like, you don't just read it and like, oh, okay, but to ask questions of the text, to go deeper, to tie it to something else. He taught me all of that, and so a huge positive influence. And then he worked for the school, and the school was getting more and more resistant to Christian influence over the kids. So at some point, I remember, like, if he as a Young Life leader wanted to meet me or take some of us out to lunch or something, like he wasn't allowed to get us from the school. He had to wait outside the gates of the high school and meet up with kids, and he would still do it. And so he taught me Bible study, and he taught me to be just steady on and persevering in the face of opposition. So that was number one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for number two?
Number two.
Okay. Number two is going to surprise you and not surprise you at the same time, but Abigail McConnell.
It's a woman I know very well.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm about to tear up talking about it. Sorry.
It's okay.
Abigail it's actually so funny how the fellows here came to be. If this is your first time listening, little context for you, I did the First Pres Fellows program right out of college, and it has deeply formed who I am and who I strive to be. But in that program, you work an internship. And my internship was originally going to be in school fundraising.
Oh, was it?
And I wasn't super thrilled about it, but I had already built, this resume throughout college that I wasn't necessarily worried about finding a full-time position. And that's not to toot my own horn. It's just, that's not the reason that I was joining the fellows program. It was more so, I am making an active decision to come here to develop my faith and have a truth-seeking posture through this.
Yeah.
And so this fundraising job was going to have me go to Denver every day. And I didn't say anything to anyone because the internships that we work with or the businesses are not necessarily affiliated with First Pres. We can go and find the internship ourselves,
some are
as
just
long
businesses,
as right.
Or, you just and you can go. So it was going to be kind of a bummer.
But I was just let's get super pumped about school fundraising. I'm here for it. Love the mission. But then Abigail McConnell somehow gets a hold of me, calls me, says, "Hi, my name's Abigail. I am the executive director of, it's called TOLI, Touch of Love International." And she told me a little bit about the mission and eventually brought me on. And it was the best thing that could have possibly ever happened to me because not only was I introduced to an organization that really seeks dignity of human beings and seeks good. But it also met people where they're at, which is really meaningful to me rather than, let's push beliefs and make people feel a lot of shame, even though that might not be the intention. That's what happens a lot.
Yeah.
But something that Abigail taught me and continues to teach me I was on the phone with her last night in LA, which was really sweet. She teaches me she said this various times to me, respond, don't react. Really think about your current situations and evaluate what it means to respond versus react, which has really made an impact. She's said that to me so long ago, and it helped me control a lot of the anger and emotions that I was feeling, just kind of jaded by my life circumstances. And then she also taught me how to pray genuinely, how to pray with my heart and my needs in my words, my voice.
Nice.
Because I was so used to, grew up Catholic.
Say your prayers.
Say your prayers, pray the rosary, and my dad would teach me how. My dad is very formative for me too, but I think actually putting it into practice rather than just a quick nighttime prayer, good night, lay your head down.
Right.
It was
Relationship.
just it blew my mind because I got paid to pray.
Yeah.
Because we'd have totally prayer on, was it Monday? Tuesdays. Wow, I should remember that. But we would dedicate an entire hour to prayer, and that was so intimidating to me.
Well, it might have been Monday's staff prayer, and then they do.
Oh, yeah,
they do
yeah.
Totally Tuesday. But I'm so happy that as someone who is also, the Lord was unfolding new faith, like new depths of your faith and relationship with Jesus, and to be around Christians who were doing some of the most beautiful work that Christians do in the whole world. These people that are changing lives with this ministry totally, and it's just so, such a good place to be when you're discovering the goodness of God and the goodness of Christianity and walking with Jesus.
And she just, it was the same thing that I felt with Katie, that it's like I can't even explain who this person is or how she came into my life, but I know, oh my gosh, I'm crying, but I know she's supposed to be there. And it can only be explained by the Spirit living in her. And it brought me to you, it brought me to my best friend Ellie, it just, Abigail's a queen. Yeah,
Go
we
Abigail.
So
she has had some influence on my life.
Yeah. She.
Yeah. Way to go, Abigail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you.
God, that's great. And all right. Well, I probably should say Abigail.
Well, I covered her.
You covered her. So for me, probably, and these are almost in stages. Not quite. Okay, so the next one for me would be a man named Simon Barnes. Simon was the executive director of a ministry called Focus, Fellowship of Christians in Universities and Schools. So when I was in college, I'd come to Christ through Young Life. I did a lot of Young Life volunteering. And then through some friends, I got involved in this ministry that is kind of like Young Life, but it's for private school kids on the East Coast. And so it's a different game. Like they're not wowed by some of the stuff that you do with Young Life to make a kid feel loved and feel special. Like they're come from really wealthy backgrounds. They feel special a lot. What they don't feel is really loved and believed in. So this ministry, it was funny. Like we would do stuff with them, like do the dishes together. Where in Young Life you would say, like, you never have to touch a dish. You're at Young Life. You're this is time for you to be with God. But in Focus, I would sit with, I'd wash dishes with kids who'd never washed dishes before. And I remember, I didn't mean to go this deep into this, but I remember with one young lady, and we were at the study center on Martha's Vineyard. I mean, it was all very wealthy stuff.
Yeah.
But the study center in Martha's Vineyard, and we would clean the cabins, like, because they didn't. And she sat down on the floor and cried when I showed her how to put toilet paper on the toilet paper holder, because she said, I have never done that, and there's so many things that I don't even know how to do. And so it was just like that. This was a different ministry, but Simon's British. He was very matter of fact, and what I learned from him was the power of leadership. He would lead, he would persevere in leadership as the executive director of this ministry, and he would believe that God's going to bring the resources. He would trust that we're doing the right things for the right reason. God's going to meet us there. And just time after time I saw him lead, and he sort of mentored me for about 10 years when I was a very young man, and I just watched Christian leadership. Everything that he did was scriptural. It was on Christian principles. He was a servant in his leadership, but he was a strong leader that would persevere and see something come when others would say, "Give up, stop." And so I learned leadership from him, and he also was really focused on that his leadership comes from a place of personal holiness. So in all the right ways, not shame ways, not guilt ways, in all the right ways, Simon was somebody who was showing me the value of pursuing holiness, of conquering those inner challenges, of choosing the good over the bad, choosing the wise over the foolish. And so I'm just super grateful. He was an influencer, huge influencer for me. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time picking
Number three.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I could go back to childhood, or I just think like my last 4 years are the most impactful in my faith, and so those are the quickest to come up.
Yep.
So I would even say my market president in my current position. Her name is Jessica, and she is just a force to be reckoned with. She is amazing, and my job is in such a secular field that you wouldn't think faith would play a big role in it. But she taught me how to lead with love and compassion, rather than leading with like what I know and my knowledge in a sales role, and to mean it and not use it as some weird tactic to get people to like you. It was to mean it, like have compassion, have empathy.
Yeah. Not just to use it for sales.
Yeah, have empathy. And to print out a list of all of my clients and pray over them.
Oh, that's awesome.
One by one. And it's not me praying for, my commission-based salary based on these.
Yeah.
It's me praying for the good of those businesses and how I might be a resource to them. And when I made that mental shift, that's actually when I started to see a huge difference in my job, which is, a big part of my life. But when I'd come to her with concerns or feelings of guilt or like I haven't done enough, she is the one who said, because I'm scared at any point in time God's going to take it all away. It's just a deep-rooted fear. It's not necessarily logical or biblical or anything like that. But
yeah, we've got those. We've got like those. The plug could pull out of this at any moment.
But she told me he doesn't necessarily delight in, taking things away from you. And he's equipped you. He's given you gifts to, do good. Now, are things going to happen? Yes. But he's
ups and downs.
Yeah, but he's constantly teaching you how to, back to what Abigail says, right? Respond instead of react and move forward. And she's just been a real constant in a job that feels impossible. Sometimes she brings the peace back in and helps me feel really centered. So the past 2.5 years working under her, I know that it's through prayer, and she also taught me it's okay to pray for God's favor sometimes, which feels selfish. And so I was dealing.
Well, prayer is a revelation of your heart, and what God wants to know is what's on your heart. And if you show him, these are my desires, and this is what I want, this is what I long for, he's either going to show you how to reshape those desires, and just bring them to light and putting them in your hands open before the Lord. He's going to start to adjust them, and you're going to see them in his light very quickly when you pray. If you don't pray, you just hide those desires, they might pull you off course. So it's whatever the desires are, to put it before the Lord is so important. And I just love that she's given you that sense that God is available, God is present, God is in your life. It's easy in our work lives to get to just like, this is about me, do.
Yeah.
and just to see that God's active
In all areas of
in
your
all
life.
areas. And that allows you to be responsive rather than reactive because you believe that God's doing something. So I can take a time, I can take a minute to breathe and I can respond in a wise way instead of just flailing with reactions. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. All right, my third is my friend Walter Henniger. He's a pastor in Atlanta. We've been friends since college, and he taught me about friendship and also with Walter, I've learned from him is about overcoming hard things without getting bogged down. He got married, and Anne, his wife, started to get very sick, and it took years to figure out that she has celiac disease. And they knew so little about that back then that she just was very sick, and they didn't understand how. And to watch him navigate that as a young married man and to watch them build their family. And I've just learned so much from Walter about overcoming hard things and what love looks like. And so you're an influencer. We are influencers, and we are influenced. And we're grateful for that. And as believers, Liza, as Christians, we just want to be following someone ahead of us who's leading us towards Jesus, like Paul said, and then watching for people behind us because we are influencing people all the time. And so we want to be healthy influencers leading toward Jesus.
And that wraps up our time. Thank you so much for listening. If you're enjoying these conversations on faith and life, as always, just leave us a review so that more people can find us. And if you have a topic that you want us to hit on, we'd love to look into it and dive into that together. So send an email to podcast@firstprescos.org or comment on the YouTube version if you're watching via video. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the next episode when we discuss Christmas. Woo!
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, share these episodes. Share them with your influencers. Share them with people you're trying to influence. And we will see you soon to talk about Christmas.